gentlemen, it is episode 244 of the Millie Goats, another post-round recap of a major, something that we like to do, or at least I like to do it if you're listening to the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the show so you can get the downloads and the automatic updates. As you know, we film in front of a live studio audience, not studio, but virtual audience. B. McCormick is here per usual. The man, the GOAT, the legend. And if you're tuning in now, we've just had the ending of the Panthers and Leafs game. The Leafs Undertaker meme are back. They rose from the ashes of complete despair, if you're a Leafs fan, to give us a Game 7 Sunday night, which is just incredible. So we should be recording during that. And also the Knicks destroyed the Celtics. So that series is over. New York versus Indiana in the NBA. And that'll probably start in like 3 weeks because that's kind of what they do. Yes, B. McCormick. Let's go. Let's go. So we had those two. We had sport, it was nice little Saturday night. We roll the PGA championship right into 2 game 6s. 1 game 6 ends, the other game does not, and we get a game 7. So sports still doing big things. Also, for those of you who know, I am a 49ers fan, and Brock Purdy signed his deal. We will talk more about that on Sunday night on the live show and the podcast. So stay tuned for that. I've got some opinions. I've been collecting data for people who think that his contract was not deserving. So you're a bunch of jabronis if you think that, and that aggression will not stand. I will Big Lebowski you. That aggression will not stand, dude. So, but anyways, that's I'm happy for Brock Purdy. Rags to riches, everybody. Because that's right, B. McCormick. No Purdy slander. That will not be tolerated. The man was drafted last and is now the 7th highest paid quarterback. I've got stats to back up the fact that he is deserving of this money, even though people can't believe they're going to pay him that much. You know what? Shut up. Just tune in Sunday night if you want my opinion on that. But we are not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, where people, for whatever reason, continue to bash Charlotte. So here's what's on the docket. I spend the days. I was at work today, so when I watch at work, especially the early rounds, it's sporadic, but I do see some. I keep up with social media. Once I get done, I got done fairly early today. I'm constantly watching either on my phone or doing, just trying to keep up with as much as I can. So I do see a lot of golf shots, and I love majors. I love golf majors. This is going to get very, very, very interesting, in my opinion. Right. Johnny Vegas still leads 8 under. First Venezuelan to lead a major, I think is what it was. And he's just come out of nowhere, and all he's doing is hitting fairways and making putts. So, but the order of tonight is I have my note card. I write stuff down throughout the day. I will read those off. We will go through things that I have bookmarked that were substantial about the golf tournament. And then we will take a look at the leaderboard, and that's how we will go. And then we'll take a look at the pairings too. So that's the schedule for tonight. And that will probably take anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes or shorter. I have no idea. Once I get going on a subject, I mean, we had Max Homa rise from the dead. We had, what's his face? Mr. Majors, Matthew Pavon. Ha, ha, ha. Les Passants. We had him. I think he's Mr. Major. I think he's finished like top 20 in like 3 out of his last 4 majors or something stupid. So the story going into this was, and again, if you want in-depth, absurd analysis from a statistical standpoint, Byron Lindeque, the model maniac, go follow him. He's got more spreadsheets, than Bed Bath & Beyond. He's got so many sheets. It's crazy. He's got so many models, so many sheets at the Model Maniac. Go follow that guy. He's incredible. He's funny too. So I don't have all those at my disposal. I'm going to talk about, some different stuff. What I picked up. So I wrote down Johnny Vegas Major League Baseball sponsorship. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think I have a picture of Johnny Vegas. But he appears to be sponsored by Major League Baseball, or that was just a Major League Baseball shirt that he had. Either way, if you can get another sports, just literally another sport to sponsor you for golf, that's pretty darn good. And also, this is a little tidbit for people when you're watching Johnny Vegas this weekend. We had Michael Kim on the show, who also is on a heater as far as Mike Kim made a joke about Bryson DeChambeau about how, he's not warmed up yet because he doesn't normally play on Thursdays because it's a joke about live golf and they only play 3 days a week. Bryson was asked after the round what he thought about Mike Kim, and Bryson said, who? So, and then Mike Kim's still going. He is a social media personality. Awesome. And he made the cut. So Mike Kim made it. Lauer made it. Novak did not. Novak had he didn't have his best day today. That's all right. That's okay. So anyways, but Mike Kim, where was I going with that? I don't know. Something about Mike Kim. I can't remember. That's right. MK on it, baby. That's right. That's right, B. McCormick. We're talking about the Max Homas and the Mike Kim's story. That's what it was. Johnny Vegas. Mike Kim was on our show a couple weeks ago, and he was telling us about, one of his favorite people to play with on tour is Johnny Vegas. And he said one of the things you have to look at whenever you're watching Johnny play, you're not really going to notice it offhand, is how big his hands are. He said his hands in the golf club. So when you're watching Johnny Vegas play tomorrow, shout out Steelers tomorrow. We got a flag football game. Gonna be coaching at 10 a.m. So won't be watching early morning golf, but or I'll watch early morning, but not, we'll look at the tee times here. But Mike Kim said, check out Johnny Vegas's hands, the hand size. So no Kenny Pickett up in here. He said that he's got just some massive paws. And then I was watching him today and I was like, holy smokes, Mike was right. Kind of cool. So anyways, if you're watching Johnny Vegas, check out his hand size. There you go. And shout out Johnny Vegas. He just was like, you could tell he loved being in that chair, being interviewed by Marty Smith this morning. That was cool. So, other notes that I had was one about the Vikings, which we'll talk about Sunday. I have an Aaron Rodgers hot take. This has nothing to do with golf. These are just my notepad. This is what I do during my days. Like when you have a show like this, I love this show. I love doing this. I just carry a notepad or a piece of paper with me all day and I write notes on it because I love doing this and it's so much fun. So when you get a hot take, you don't want to waste it. You put it down on your paper. The other thing I had written down was around the greens. A lot of this tournament made before we talked about it yesterday was, it's going to be bombers, hit it a mile, eat up the course. And then what you're finding is, at least for me, is the people who are hitting it straight accurately in the fairway. They've got long irons in, but they're having a lot more success. I mean, Rory is one of the worst drivers at this tournament right now. And it is, he was on the cut line at 1 over and almost missed it on 18. That was, hit it off the freaking roof of the grandstand and then bounced it almost into the creek. So, and almost missed the cut. But anyways, so I had around the green being important simply because people are chipping balls in off the green. We got Matt Fitzpatrick. We'll look at that up there here in a minute. Matt Fitzpatrick's there. Pavon was savvy around the green. Siwoo Kim chipping balls in. Max Homa. I mean, some of these guys, Scotty Scheffler is ridiculous. Alex Smalley was good around the greens today. Being able to knock strokes off when you get close to the greens. So, anyways. And then I had some other notes that we'll talk about later. The 14th hole, the 17th hole with Scotty and Rory. And yeah, the drive off 18. So I spent the day watching golf for the most part. On my phone. I had the audio on and was paying attention in and out. So I watch as much as I can. I love it. Okay. Let's pull up some stuff that I captured from today. The big story of the morning, and I'm pulling up my Twitter for those of you who are listening to the podcast. We're going to go down my timeline that I've bookmarked things from in chronological order with which they happened. Number one was Max Homa shooting. What did he shoot? Like a 63 or 4 or something. And one of the early highlights was on the drivable 14th. He almost aced the damn thing. He hits it. He lands it about 20 feet onto the green, and it rolls out slight right to left, breaking back toward the water on 14 and ends up about a foot from the hole. Homa was cooking. Now, it's known that he quit Twitter earlier this year. So some are saying that correlated, but or did TGL propel his comeback? I don't know. But we'll get to that. Good to see Max Homa doing that. Second interesting point that I bookmarked today, Aaron Rye, known Tommy Two Glover, right? No, there's actually a hilarious highlight from him where he almost buzzsawed somebody with he absolutely bladed an iron when he was trying to hit a punch shot from the rough. Almost took somebody's face off. But Aaron Rye, known double black glover, 2 gloves, Tommy Two Gloves, takes one of his gloves off in the bunker. And to me, I don't get it. I understand if you're putting, most people putt without gloves, but he takes one of his gloves off to hit out of the bunker. Now, we have to speculate on what Aaron Rye, and he's actually having a pretty good tournament. We'll see in the leaderboard here in a second. The speculation, I'm not really sure what that would be. I've seen some weird stuff. We've seen Ryo Hisatsune, whatever, put water in his mouth and stand on the green and try to get a level for where the water goes in his mouth. But I've never seen a guy who wore 2 gloves, let alone, and then take 1 glove off for the bunker. Very interesting. I would love to know why he does that. I wonder what it would be. Do you think that's his lower? Hold on. It's his upper hand. So does it help him better feel the sand, maybe rotation? I don't know. Maybe it heightens the sensitivity on his strong hand so that the club doesn't rotate. Maybe that's what it is with the sand. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to get, he likes to pick down and feel the sand with his hand before he hits the ball. I don't know. Also, we had 2 outbursts on the course today. One was Tyrrell Hatton on number 18 when he literally Tyrrell Hatton needs his own. They got to follow that guy around with a GoPro or a drone or whatever, and just give that guy his own reality show. That guy's hilarious. Tyrrell Hatton hit a drive on 18 and spit on his driver and called it a POS C word. You piece of SHITCU, you fill in the blank. And was just letting his driver have it. He is something. That guy is funny. So all this stuff was going on early in the morning. We had a snake on the course. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, get your snakes on the plane. How about a snakes on a fairway? One of the volunteers walked out there and just started kicking that thing. He almost had to go crocodile hunter on him. I mean, I've seen Tex from our show pick one of those things up by the tail and just yuck it over a fence during the middle of a wedding. So looks like a black snake, looks harmless, but this guy just strolls out there and just starts giving it the old, just giving it the tire kick there. So snakes out there. Reptiles are out in full force on this course in North Carolina this weekend, actually. And I keep seeing, and this is what I was saying, one of the posts we did, that turtles are finally standing up to Donald Ross, because Donald Ross is famous for designing the turtleback greens that are impossible to land a golf ball on. So the turtle said, we're going to take back with the bunkers. Give us the bunkers back. And so these turtles, and you're not going to appropriate turtle culture, these turtles with like 6-inch long necks. Now, look, I've lived in North Carolina my entire life. I have never seen these turtles. Okay. So that to me, I just, I'm confused, right? I'm confused. Being living here my entire life, you've got these turtles everywhere that I've never seen. Or if I have seen them, I have not seen them extend their neck like Mike Glennon, essentially. We got a bunch of Mike Glennon turtles out there. Uh, so I don't know. I'm staying woke. I think these things were bust in. I think they needed they needed something to fill the air with, and these turtles happen to be the ones because I've never seen these turtles, and I lived in Charlotte for I don't know 6 years. Never saw one of these. Lived by bodies of water too. Lived at a golf course. Never saw one of these long neck giraffe Mike Glennon turtles. So everybody stay woke on that. Those could be. They look like a periscope basically. Might be what they are. Little mini submarines. I don't know. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Yeah, Max Homa shot a 64. Everybody was on for Max Homa. Just had his kid, or maybe no, has a kid. Just announced they're having another kid at the Masters. So he was hot there for a while, and then obviously what happens, you have a kid and things change. So he's part of that group now, the Spieths, the Fowlers, they get married, they have kids, and everything kind of changes. So good to see him back in the design. Now, Shane Lowry on he was fighting for his cut life. Like this was I think on hole 11. Oh, he was on the 8th. Shane Lowry currently at 1 over. Now we know all the mud balls stories from yesterday. About lift, clean, and play, and Shane Lowry gets one of his balls stuck in a divot, goes to hit the ball and absolutely flubs it and hits it in the bunker about, I don't know, 30 yards away, and ends up costing him from having probably a par to a bogey. And he ended up missing the cut by 1 stroke, and he was furious. He hits the shot as his ball is laying in a divot. He flubs it, and then he takes his club and hits the divot again, like swings it like a baseball bat. And so he ends up making bogey on the 8. And after the hole, I'm pretty sure he flipped the bird. Yeah, this next one, he flips the bird to the ball, supposedly. But he did not. They would not give him relief from that divot. So that was him and Terrell Hatton had a couple of meltdowns out there today. But there was that big discrepancy of the mud balls, and I don't know. And then it hit it in the divot, and then that kind of messed everything up. So there's just mixed emotions about what's appropriate about lift, clean, and play, or what all that stuff. So I'm not somebody who's played competitive golf, so I'm not going to sit here and try to be a rules analyst. These guys are way better than me. They've played more golf than me. They know the rules. They're professionals. If they think it should be lift, clean, and play, then that's probably something they should argue about. Also, Nike went all in for burnt orange. I don't know if it was in memory of Scotty Scheffler, who didn't get arrested this week. Way to go, Scotty Scheffler. Shout out to you. But he was in burnt orange yesterday. Rory was in burnt orange today. And also Brooks Koepka, who stunk up the joint, was in burnt orange as well. Siwoo Kim has his second ace in a major, a hole-in-one, longest hole-in-one ever, 252 yards. Starts running down the fairway, or the hole, and breaks his own record for a hole-in-one. So shout out to him. Siwoo Kim, he was asked after the round, he was caught, ripping darts, smoking cigarettes yesterday, walking down the fairway, and they asked him why, and he said, because I'm getting old and I'm stressed. So there you go. Siwoo Kim, 2 days in a row with a hole-in-one. That's 252 yards. Are you kidding me? Most of your average golfers not even getting to that hole with a driver, let alone, peeling a 3-wood or a fairway wood in there and just dunking the thing. So shout out Siwoo. He's in contention. I can't remember what he's at. We'll go over the leaderboard in a minute. Also, something that was big was Rory McIlroy, according to @Sirius XM PGA Tour. Rory McIlroy's game driver was deemed non-conforming by the U.S. Golf Association on Tuesday. He had to switch driver prior to yesterday's opening round. I don't know. This is weird. It's people are coming to his defense. It's not been confirmed. It's not, but he ended up having to switch drivers before the round, and his driving has been atrocious, like we mentioned. And it's kind of cost him being able to kind of hang up there with the leaders. The question is, did he use that same driver for the Masters? Do we have to nullify his Grand Slam? That's the real question. So more to come on that. Not going to speak too much on that because there's a lot of conflicting reports. But regardless, that would be a good excuse for him for sure. Michael Block got cut after shooting an 82, and he said the funny part is I wish there was a huge crowd every hole because that's when I hit my shots, and that made the rounds on the PGA Tour, and some of the pros were giving him a hard time about that. So he said he plays better whenever he's like a little Happy Gilmore. Tough to say it after an 82, but kudos to him. There's a picture of some guys here, some young strapping lads, about, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them that it looked like to be in college or in their 20s. And the quote says, nothing better than North Carolina fashion. And it's basically every single one of them is wearing short khaki shorts with a tucked in dry fit polo golf shirt and some sort of neutral based colored shoe and, Costa Del Mar's as sunglasses with the same haircut. It is absolutely hilarious. There's no question about it that these guys are all in the same frat, probably from UNC or Raleigh, somewhere one of those. Some more interesting facts on Rory. At Quail Hollow, Rory McIlroy, 2010. This is from Justin Ray Golf on Twitter. He made the cut on the number at 1 over. He was 9 back of 40-something Billy Mayfair. Came back to win it. This year, 2025, Rory at the PGA Championship makes the cut on the number at 1 over. 9 back of Jonathan Vegas, who is age 40. So it's written in the stars that Rory McIlroy, 15 years to the tournament, to the golf course at Quail Hollow, could make another comeback. I don't know. If he can't hit his ball on the fairway, it does not matter. There are the tee times. Here is, Siwoo Kim broke his own record for longest ace in major history. The Open in 2024, which was 238 yards. I remember that. And then this year, 252 yards. He said, quote, last record was me too. It's exciting, kind of like imagination. I hit it exactly how I want it. So Siwoo Kim, Mr. Hole-in-One major guy. Shout out him. The course looking good for the weekend. Xander Schauffele goes 2 under on the final 7 holes to make the cut on the number at 1 over. Him and Rory are paired together tomorrow. He keeps his streak of 64 consecutive made cuts alive, the longest active streak on tour. That's pretty impressive. Of course, obviously Tiger has the most. It's some ungodly number. We'll go over some of the notable cut missers here in a second, but some of the pairings here. Rory and Xander are going to be off early in the morning. Sergio and Brian Harmon at 9:05, and then our guy Justin Lauer 9:15. Let's go. We got him going. Cameron Young not playing too bad. Corey Connors turned it on late. Popular guy. Tyrrell Hatton and Joaquin Neiman, 2 live guys, going off at 11:25. John Rahm, not terrible. Victor Hovland and Tommy Fleetwood. That's quite a pairing. I'm digging all these other, the Joe Highsmiths, the Eric Coles. The PGA basically invests and markets into about 10 to 15 guys. So you got some of these guys like Eric Cole, who's been playing really good golf this year. Joe Highsmith, who has a win. Pendrith has been okay. JJ Spawn's been really good this year. These guys aren't getting, and shout out to Garrett Higo, who just has unlimited swagger today. He looked like straight out of a Cabela's magazine. He looked awesome. But these guys like JJ Spawn, who's having a really good year, they just don't have the oomph behind them from the media standpoint. And so every time they get in contention, they're like, oh, here we go again, JJ Spawn. It's like, no, dude, like, just because you're investing in the JTs and the Rickies and the guys who they had a very hot flame at one point doesn't mean we have to keep going back into that well. Like, invest in some of these other guys, the JJ Spawns, the Andrew Novaks, the who else? Bobby McIntyre has been playing good golf the last year. So Eric Cole, like, some of these guys that have been putting it together the last, Maverick McNeely, some of these guys have been putting it together the last little while. Don't hate on them. And I'm sick and tired of the hate on the Charlotte and Quail Hollow, all that stuff. So anyways, and then Pavon and Vegas go off at 245. Fitzpatrick, Siwoo Kim go off at 235. Homa and Scheffler. Now there we go. That's dancing right there, baby. 225. So yeah, some of the big ones. Kudos. Let's have a good Saturday. Let's have a good moving day. How do I get out of this? I don't even know what I just did there. Aha, there we go. So yeah, that's all the let me look up this Aaron Rye, who hit an absolute seed off the tree. Here it is. Here it is. Here's Aaron Rye, backswing in the rough, tree just off to his right, about 20 yards, about 30 yards up to his right. Gallery's line to his right, and he hits an absolute worm burner right off the middle of the tree, about 6 inches from some dude's groin. That would have been just a disaster if that thing was another 6 inches to a foot to the right. It would have clipped that guy in an all-time internet legend clip. Old volunteer buddy right there would have been immortalized forever if that thing had hit him right in the calzones. So that was worth. Let's move over to the leaderboard, and then we'll get on out of here. So we got Johnny Vegas fired off a 70, who he on 18, he's 8 under. He was at 10 under before he got to 18. He made an absolute mess of 18. He was in the right side bunker, flubbed his shot out of the sand to the front of the green, which then rolled down, and then he chipped up and missed about a 2-footer to double bogey the hole to move him from 10 under to 8 under. So everybody that was below him was Undertaker memeing forever, being like, okay, we've got a chance now. And then Matthew Pavon goes out, shoots a 65. Just absolutely working his way around the course. Deadly accurate. Fitzpatrick kind of the same way. Around the green and putting. That's what's making these guys. Siwoo Kim had the hole in one. He's at 6 under as well. Max Homa's at 5 under. Scotty Scheffler's at 5 under. Scotty 17 on the par 3. Scotty hits it within 4 feet and then misses the putt. He was one of the best shots of the day on 17. And then he lipped the putt out, and then Rory right behind him does the same thing. You're like, holy cow, what a shot by Scotty. And then he misses a putt. So, Max, Homa, Scotty Scheffler are top 5, and they're at 5 under. Below that, you've got Alex Smalley, who's at 4 under. Ryan Fox kind of stayed there. JT Poston, another North Carolina guy, all there at 4 under. Alex Smalley played some really good golf today. Shout out him. I hope he keeps himself in the top 5, maybe even gets into the last group for the contention. That'd be sick. Having Sahith Theegala withdrawal, he gets thrown in there. Greensboro guy, North Carolina guy comes up in there. Just nerves of steel, makes the most of it, changes his life forever. Let's go, Alex Smalley. Come on the show. McIntyre, Sam Stevens, Denny McCarthy, Gerard stayed he was 1 over for the day. So he dropped a shot back, but he's still in the top 10. Then our guy Garrett Higo, swagger on max, swagger on $1 billion, 2 under today. And you got your Spawn, Rye, Pendrith. There's DeChambeau. Shambo he was fighting it today. You know, he was 3 under today, so one of the better rounds out there. He's still got to get his irons figured out. He's still trying to hit that high draw, and he's just hitting it too much and overcooking it just a little bit. You know what I mean? But he's providing some entertainment, folks. That guy, there's nothing you could say negative about Bryson. That guy is must-see TV all the time. He is absolutely melting the golf ball. He's leading the tour or the tournament in driver's distance, like 350 yards, which is a huge advantage, but he can't seem to get his freaking irons and his approach game to match. If he could figure that out, I don't know who'd beat him in a major. So that's something to watch. It killed him at Augusta. Killed him at Augusta. He's gonna be playing with Richard Bland, who's just been putting it right basically in the middle at like 280, 290, 300 every time. So makes it long, but Finau 3 under, his Satsune, we talked about him. Ben Griffin and Finau got some momentum going there. You know, there's holes that you can score on. It's like, what is it? Once you get to 12, 13, 14, 15, there's like a 4-hole stretch on the back 9. I saw that 18 was playing like 23 or 24 over par. Something stupid. So Cam Davis, who was up there yesterday, he shot 3 over today. So he didn't get it going. Joe Highsmith, he came up cooking with a 67. He's at 2 under. John Rahm hanging around there. There's our guy Lucas Glover at 1 under. A couple of people down here. Wyndham Clark at 1 under. He was 3 under for the day. Steven Yeager, he dropped back quite a bit because he was 4 over. Remember, he was way up there. Morikawa, he was 1 over today. So that's kind of rounded out. Then you get to the cut line, and you got Sert Thurthio. He made it. Bud Cauley, I know he was fighting down the stretch. Mike Kim made it with a 1 over round today. Rory made it on the line. Xander made it on the line. And then Sam Burns, Gracerman, he had to make an eagle on like 19, or not at 19, but one of the par 5s, like 16. 16 is a hard hole too, by the way. 14 is awesome. The drivable par 4. It's crazy. Jake Knapp missed it. Jordan Spieth missed it by a shot. Straka, that sucks. Shane Lowry, Batia, JT, Justin Thomas, Hideki. That's his first missed cut at a major in a long time. Patrick Reed missed it. People liked him. Gary Woodland missed it. Ricky missed it. Some of these big names. Minwoo Lee blew up late. He missed it. Sung Jae, Bum JM. I cannot believe I put that much weight in Sung JM again. Complete jabroni. Willie Z just hasn't found it after his back. He's 6 over for the tournament. Jason Day, that one shocked me more than any of them. Cam Smith, done. All the live guys, just not good. Kapka was finished 9 over. Mickelson finished 9 over. Dustin Johnson was 12 over. Michael Block, 15 over. Like Dustin, worst score of the day was 23 over. Guy went 82-83. Greg Koch, and then Roop Taylor, 22. But some of those guys are young. But Dustin Johnson finished in 78-76. He just has mailed. Some of these live guys just mailed it in, buddy. They just have mailed this thing in. They got that check, and I mean, you can't really like blame them, but at the same time, it's like you can't tell me that you're playing serious golf. When you're out there 15 over on every single major, but I don't. So far, it's been pretty good. Like I can't wait to see how this thing shakes out. Like I know that I read something that within the last couple of PGA championships, somebody from outside the top 30 has come back to win it. So I mean, I know Johnny Vegas has got that pretty hefty lead at 8 under, and then Pavone. But some of these guys, that are up there, no offense to them, they just I mean, Vegas has never done this. Never been a Venezuelan that's done this. That's led a major like this. I'm not saying he can't, but and then you've got Pavon, who I don't know. Fitzpatrick has won. Didn't he win he won the Open, I think, the Open Championship. So he's the only guy up there that's got the pedigree. I mean, Max Homa a little bit, but then there's old Scotty, who's just you're watching Scotty Scheffler play golf, and you're just like, man, he is really just forcing it around out there. He's just not playing that great. And 68, 69, 5 under, only 3 back with, who scares you up there? I don't like. I mean, Siwoo Kim and Max Homa went 7 under today. Shout out to him. What an absolute ripper that was. But Scotty, obviously, if you're betting today, I mean, he's 210. He's plus 210. You've got to put some money on that. Plus 210 for Scotty. And then the next person, if I'm going to trust somebody, it's either going to be Siwoo or Max Homa. Siwoo is just apparently an absolute card on tour. So good for him. Somebody that plus 4,000 here, that Denny McCarthy, just because he may be the best putter on tour. Denny McCarthy at plus 4,000. Sitting back there, 4 under, 3 under for the day today. He's a putting machine in these greens over the next 2 days. I think the wind is supposed to pick up in the afternoon. Michael Kim was given a little bit of so the guys early in the morning are going to have that advantage of kind of the softer conditions, no wind. You're talking about issues with the wind on a course that's super long. I mean, you're asking for it. So let's see when McCarthy goes off. Got to be, whoops. McCarthy's going off 135. So, I don't know. Anyways, but he's a phenomenal putter of the golf ball. But, you can't rule out Bryson DeChambeau. Finau at plus 5,500 just because he seemed to be getting his rhythm here. So anybody that's within 9, like you can go all the way down to even or maybe even 1. I mean, I don't think anybody's out of this thing just because you're talking about a volatile top of the leaderboard other than so Scotty really I would say 5 under is the mark for me. Is the only guy I trust that can stay and kind of move up from there. So really anybody within 6 shots, which brings you back to 1 over. That can get hot and go shoot, 7 under is up there because that's a couple of guys did that today. You had a couple of guys go 7 under. So, it can be done. Somebody's going to do it. And if you do it, now everybody that's within, if somebody does it, they're within, they get to 6 under, even if you're at 1 over. So, especially if you're an early morning guy, somebody down here in this, the Colin Morikawas of the world, or, somebody that can really stick it around the green and play with long irons. So I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch. I love it. Everybody's like, "Oh, this tournament sucks," and it's look at this leaderboard. Just shut up. Enjoy this. Enjoy Matthew Pavon. Enjoy Fitzpatrick finding his game. Enjoy Max Homa having a comeback story. Enjoy Siwoo Kim smoking cigarettes and just drilling long hole-in-ones. It's not going to be this. I guarantee it. It's going to be somebody that comes from behind here. And then we're going to get to see just a great Sunday of golf. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to see what Sunday holds. So, anywho, let me get out of here. I'm going to bed. Got flag football in the morning. But if you made it this far, you're listening, checking out the podcast. Check out our social medias. I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow night, and then we'll have our normal show on Sundays, as you can see right here. If you're listening to the podcast, please subscribe to the show so you get the automatic downloads. You can come laugh with us. We've been arguing about how spiders wear pants. We got another argument that we'll do next week that'll last all week. It's going to be great. We're going to talk Brock Purdy contracts. We're going to talk football. We're going to talk hockey on Sunday, but tomorrow night I'll do another Saturday recap of golf. So yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We had some people pile in here late. If you missed the beginning of the show, just the podcast will be out here in about 30 minutes. Hey, every download, every thumbs up, all that stuff means a lot. We appreciate it. We've made some movement here the last few weeks. It's been pretty cool. So everybody hang tight. We're gonna have some good golf. Let those little weird neck turtlenecks do their job. Stay work on it. All right. See you tomorrow.